Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the brother doing his work in truth, sincerity. Let's jump right into the lesson. This is 2 Timothy 2:19. It says, "Nevertheless, the foundation of Yahweh standeth sure, having this seal. The Lord knows them that are his. Let every one that nameth the name of Yahweh Shai depart from iniquity." So those that call themselves men of the Lord, those that are sealed with the mark of an exemption from judgment, as read about in the Old Testament, the Lord knows who he is. The Lord knows who he's dealing with. And those men that he's dealing with, one of the characteristics that they're going to have, that they're not going to have any association with iniquity. Let's go ahead and get that word iniquity. Injustice of a judge, unrighteousness of heart and life, of deed, violating law and justice, act of unrighteousness. So the men of the Lord, they're going to have their shit together. Even their life in the world and their life in the truth. They're going to have their shit together. They're going to be able to take care of their business, so to speak. Because this truth should permeate and have a positive effect on every aspect of your life. It should bring forth fruit. It should teach you how to act correctly, conduct yourself correctly at work, conduct your finances correctly, take care of your physical well-being, and your emotional, mental well-being. You should know how to move, man. It says verse, so your life should be an example to others. And that's part of that is departing from iniquity. When you depart from iniquity, you get rid of the vices and habits that the rest of the world is involved in. The things that make the average or the 2/3 down or stumble or fall, those are things that you have overcome already. Now you got to look and examine what makes these men out here, the so-called Black, Latino, Native American, what makes them come short of things in life. What makes them always be in a situation where they always fucking not having their shit together. One of them is women, liquor, drugs, not having a proper care of their health, not knowing how to handle money and finances, not having a proper rule over their household, basically it comes down to not having discipline. Discipline is a characteristic of wisdom. That's read about in the Apocrypha. Let's go ahead and get that. Type in the word discipline. So this truth, it should have a positive effect on every aspect of your life. It says, this is speaking about wisdom. It said, also at verse 14, it said, "Whoso seeketh early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors." Because it takes discipline to do that. It takes discipline to seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh. It takes discipline. It takes discipline of wisdom to seek the spiritual things, so that the rest of your life can be in order. So when you seek wisdom early, that means you're putting it first and foremost before all things. So whoso seeketh early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. To get that word travail in the dictionary. Let's see, I'll just put it here. Now, let's try the other dictionary. This is the word travail in the Webster's 1828. It says, to labor is pain, to toil, to suffer the pangs of childbirth, to be in labor, to harass, tire, trouble sufficient to travel the realm. Labor is pain, severe toil. So, going back to the scriptures, Salah. It says, where were we at? It says, whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail. Basically, it's going to have an effect in your life where you're not paying for mistakes repeatedly. You know, there's a saying that they had in the military, and I use those experiences because they taught me a lot of things. But they basically there's a saying in the military that says the harder you are on yourself, the easier life is on you. So when you seek wisdom early and you seek it first and foremost, like the scripture says, who seeketh it early shall have no great travail. Things are gonna go a lot smoother for you because you can create your own hell through ignorance and stupidity and poor management of time and energy. So if we shall find her sitting at his doors, to think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. Now that goes into your thoughts, man. To think in terms of wisdom, in terms of right and moral behavior and conduct is going to make your life better, man, easier. Now, my guarantee does it mean that you're not gonna have difficulty? No, but you're gonna know how to manage that difficulty. As we think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care. For she goes about seeking such as are worthy of her, showing herself favorably unto them in the ways and meeteth them in every thought. And that's how and things go favorably in your life when you walk with wisdom and circumspection. It says, for the very true beginning of her of very beginning of her is desire of discipline. So before you can get wisdom, you got to have discipline. And the care of discipline is love. Let's get that word discipline into the dictionary. That's why you see Jake just fucking lost. No direction, no guidance, because ultimately they have no discipline. And that's something that's painful to develop. But the scripture says it's worse the pain. Let's get that word discipline. And it says education, instruction, cultivation, improvement. See that? Improvement. Like we said earlier, this truth should have a positive effect on every aspect of your life. Comprehending instruction in art, science, correct sentiments, morals, and manners, and due subordination to authority. And who's the ultimate authority? Yahweh Shai. Under that, it's the apostles and others, the great millstone, to give out the decrees in orders throughout the camps. Instruction in government, comprehending the communication of knowledge and the regulation of practice. As military discipline, which includes instruction in minor exercise, evolutions, and subordination. Let's get here. Subjection to laws, rules, orders, precepts, or regulations. What laws and orders are we under? The law, statutes, commandments of the Bible. It says, the troops are under excellent discipline. The passion should be kept under strict discipline. It's another verse, not verse, but definition 6. In ecclesiastical affairs, and ecclesiastical means concerning the church, the execution of law by which the church is governed and the infliction of penalties enjoined against offenders who profess religion or Meshach Yahushai. Let's call this one right here. The instruct or educate to inform the mind, prepared by instructing in correct principles and habits. See? And discipline is basically the forming of positive and helpful habits. It's a good habit to not drink every day. It's a good habit to have a healthy diet. It's a good habit to read scriptures daily. It's a good habit to make videos daily. It's a good habit to have a righteous and moral mindset to your brother, your fellow Israelite. It says to instruct or educate to form the mind, prepared by instruction in correct principles and habits of discipline, used for professional or future usefulness. To instruct and govern, to teach rules and practice, and to custom, to order and subordination, to discipline troops or army. Yeah, that's all I need to get right there. But going back to it says, for the very true beginning of her is desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love, and love is the keeping of her laws, and giving heed unto her laws, and assurance of incorruption. And that takes the forming of good habits. And the Quran should make us nearer unto Yahweh. Therefore, the desire of wisdom brings us to a kingdom. So the desire of wisdom through discipline brings you through a kingdom. Let's go ahead and get where we at. Let's see what we're. So we were talking about departing from iniquity. Let's go 2 Timothy 2:20. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but of also wood and earth, and some to honor, and some to dishonor. If a man therefore purge himself from these, and now what does it take to purge yourself from negative thoughts, habits, and ideas? Once again, discipline. Discipline is related to wisdom. He should be a vessel unto honor, because you're never going to meet an honorable man that doesn't have discipline. Sanctified and meet for the master's good use, for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work. See that? That's what gives you the proper spiritual fortitude to serve the Most High correctly. It says, "Flee also for youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. But foolish and under question avoid only they do gentle strifes. And a servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle to all men, apt to teach, patient." And then you can see that Jake lacks patience, man. It's one thing that Jake lacks, or 2/3 of our people, they lack patience. It says, "The meekness instructing those that oppose themselves, how prevent will getting repentant to knowledge of the truth, knowledging of the truth, that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will." That they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil. That's why Jake's trapped, man. What's the snare of the devil? The traps of of Esau's wicked world. He set up traps everywhere, man. Traps of bad food, traps of drug addiction, traps of alcoholism, traps of women, traps of lust, traps of procrastination, traps of wasting your time. What do you think these social media apps do, man? They're designed to waste your time. Because you can be on that motherfucker scrolling for hours on end without even fucking knowing it. These are all traps set by the devil to keep you in a carnal mind state, on a low vibration, low spiritual vibration, or no spiritual vibration at all. So that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive at him by his will. So think about that, man. That's why Scripture says you got to examine yourself, whether you be in the faith. Go ahead and get that. See there. So examine is to have a proper reflection of yourself. So Corinthians 13:5 says, examine yourselves. Let's get that word examine. To try whether a thing can be done, to attempt, endeavor, to try, make trial, test. Test yourself, man. Challenge yourself. Prove yourself. Ask yourself if you doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you really be the man of the Lord. If you really sanctifying and separating yourself from the fashions of this world, then that's what the scriptures call for. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Prove it to yourself, man. Because you're gonna be your greatest enemy, or your best encourager. You have war with yourself. You ultimately tell yourself what to do. You tell yourself how hard to go. You tell yourself when to procrastinate. You allow slackness, or you don't allow it. Scripture says to prove yourself. Know ye not your own selves, and a man that doesn't know himself is lost. Like I said, that's why 2/3 of our people, the so-called Black Latino Native American, are in a lost condition, undisciplined lost condition. How that Meshach Yahushua is in you, so you be reprobates. But I trust you should know that we are not reprobates. Let's get that word reprobates. Not standing the test, not approved. Properly using metals and coins, that which is not proved itself, such as ought. Unfit, unproved spirits, reprobate. So examine yourself, man. See if you got the spiritual fortitude to finish the finish this work, to finish your course. But I trust you know that we are not reprobates. So they were sure of that, man. That means they examine themselves. That means them brothers examine themselves and they prove themselves on a daily basis. So let's go ahead and get Lamentations 3 and 40. It says, let us search and try our ways and turn again to the Lord. Examine yourself, man. It says search and try our ways. So to try our ways, to test our ways. So let's take the word try. Search out, examine, investigate. So they got a term that they use called soul searching. And, you should be able to know how to do that, man. Soul searching is when you basically have a talk with yourself. And you got to do that from time to time. You got to sit yourself down and basically point out your shortcomings and faults to yourself. There's a scripture that says that we judge ourselves. See, let me find out where it's at. This is 1 Corinthians 11:31. It says, for if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. When we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, but we should not be condemned with this world. So to judge ourselves is to examine ourselves. Let's go ahead and get that word judge. To make separate, extinction, discriminate, prefer, to learn by discrimination, try, decide, to try to test or examine. So these are the things that we got to consider and to strengthen ourselves in the faith, man. Galatians 6 and 4. Let's see here. It says, but let every man prove his own work, then shall have rejoicing himself alone, not another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Because ultimately you're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your own welfare. You're responsible for the managing of your time, energy, and resources. And there's a brothers to help, but ultimately you should be able to sustain yourself, man. But with that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most I will and hope is edifying that we give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Move his wisdom. Preach this word. Teach this word. Learn this word. May the Most High be with all of you, man. Shalom.